Hello, Dawgpoundsouth campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpoundsouth podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sport Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Well, the NFL draft is less than 3 weeks away. Everybody's speculating on what the Browns are going to do with that first pick, round 2, Friday night, pick number 54. You've heard people say, oh, they need defensive linemen. They need a wide receiver. I'm going to kind of dispel that with a little logic. I know I'm going to dazzle you with a little logic here on Sunday. So I think, well, first of all, I think it's 60-40 that Andrew Berry will trade down. And only because the gap between pick 85 and pick 156, third to fifth round, is too big, even for Andrew Berry. He cannot help himself. I think that gap will just scream, and all those players being taken. And you got that compensatory picks at the end of the third round. I mean, this is going to drive him crazy. So I am 60% thinking he's going to trade down. He's going to go out and maybe pick up a fourth, maybe a sixth for next year, maybe a seventh that he can use in future picks, because he doesn't use seventh round picks. He uses that time to call maybe players who might go undrafted and, talk to them. Browns are interested. And every year he's been GM, they always pay the biggest amount to an undrafted rookie free agent. If he sees somebody he likes in that pool, he'll go after them. AJ Green, Ronnie Hickman, these type of players. So I am fully convinced he's going to trade down. Not much, a little. And before you say, well, why didn't he trade up? Well, to trade up to get to roughly in the mid 30s, looking at the draft charts, it would take both the 54 and the 85th pick. Now, you might get something back, like a fifth round pick, but that's just not worth it. He is not going to go from mid 30s all the way down to 156 in the fifth. So that is my logical conclusion on situation number one, a slight trade down. And I'm not talking big. I'm talking maybe 2 or 3 picks. Pick up a few extras. Get a team who sees somebody they like and really, really wants, and take advantage of it. Now, if he picks at 54, and I know everybody says, well, they need a defensive lineman. Not really. If they get a draft pick at defensive lineman, who are they going to cut? Are you going to cut Ika? Are you going to cut Mo Hurst? You're not going to cut either one of them. You're not going to cut a defensive lineman after 1 year. You're not going to cut Mo Hurst, somebody that Jim Schwartz loves. Jim Schwartz has got his defensive line rotation this year. Probably the only key that might is Isaiah McGuire. I think Ika is going to be fine. They met with him that year at the Senior Bowl, and they also had a visit with him. So anytime you talk to somebody twice, you're really interested in them. McGuire may be an up and down thing. We'll wait and see what happens on draft day, but I really don't think they're going D-line. Wide receiver, they can wait till 85 to get a good wide receiver. This is a deep wide receiver draft. So I'm not worried about that. But my key to this draft, and I will tell you this after these commercials. Okay, my key, and I've said this before, is offensive line. They have talked to a lot of offensive linemen. As a matter of fact, Javon Cohen, a guard out of Miami, they've talked to twice. They talked to him at the combine, and they've had him in for a visit. Take it for what it's worth. Talk to him twice. So if they're sitting there at 54, and, no extraordinary first round talent drops down to 54 because, like I said, you got to wonder why. If a Michael Hall is sitting there, of course they're going to take him. If a Brandon Fisk is there, of course they're going to take him. But the first thing they're going to ask is, why did they drop from the first round all the way down to 54? You got to wonder. So my personal thing, this is what I'm thinking. You pick up an offensive tackle. You're looking at Kingsley Sumat. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get this name right. Sumatis of BYU. Kristen Haynes, UConn. Remember, they hired a coach from UConn. This is a guy who knows this player. Patrick Paul, Houston. Kiram Mgadj, who I like. Yale. Blake Fisher, Notre Dame. Again, coach who might know this guy. So you're looking at offensive linemen. Now, here's my thinking. Jedrick Wills is not signed next year. Jack Conklin's contract is written so they could possibly get rid of him prior to the 2025 season. And then you've got the wild card, Joe Petonio, who says he's not going to retire. A reporter asked him after the season if he was thinking about it. And once a player starts saying the R word, it's a possibility at any time. So here's what I'm thinking. You've got a quarterback, a franchise quarterback, making a lot of money. Same with Cincinnati, same with Baltimore. Both their quarterback side, big money, big guarantees. Same with Deshaun Watson. So you got to find savings elsewhere. They go into the 2025 season with DeJuan Jones at right tackle, rookie contract, and a brand new left tackle who learned the entire 2024 season at left tackle. That offensive, you got two players on rookie contracts. That gives Andrew Berry the flexibility in 2025 to enhance the roster again. That is the whole goal. While Deshaun Watson is sustainable as a franchise quarterback, you want the rest of the roster to be sustainable. You want to take advantage of the years you have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. So you got to keep the roster as talented as possible. Now, I'm not taking away Elijah Moore, a wide receiver. Elijah Moore is not signed for next year. I like him. I think he was used wrong at the beginning of the season. All these stupid trick plays. Just stick him on the outside, put him in the slot. He would have been a lot more productive, even though he had his best year. I would hope they'd re-sign him. If they don't, you can get somebody like Malachi Conley at pick 85. This is a kid that led the entire college football in yards after the carry. And that's what's important for this new offense, yards after the carry. You could still get a tight end on day 3. Linebacker definitely is still in play. I think it all depends on Mahmoud Diabete, how Jim Schwartz feels about him. I think cornerback set, safety set, defensive tackle set, defensive end, all depends on McGuire. On offense, you're looking tackle, you're looking guard. And remember this, quarterback. I'm hearing the Browns are really, really loving this quarterback class. And they've already talked to Bo Nix, Joe Milton, and Matthew Pratt, Tulane. So that tells me they are a little concerned about DTR's injury. And having Hundley there as an emergency, cover your ass type situation, that tells me it's DTR they're more worried about than Deshaun Watson. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Browns draft less than 3 weeks away. You'll see a lot more of us here on the Fanatical Elves Network and the Fans First Sports Network with all our writings, all our articles. I wrote a new one today. I gave out a little way too early 53-man roster. I love doing that. I'll have a mock draft probably tomorrow with my Dawgpoundsouth.net blog. So look for it. So this is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Again, always, we thank you for watching, listening, and following, because we're just Browns fans like you. So everybody, go Browns.